Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand Rising, Hotep, Shalom, Shalom, all the other good greetings. Assalamu alaikum. I do greet you, everybody. Peace and blessings to everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pause and Reflect. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend and they were able to take a little bit of time out for themselves and reflect. Shout out to those of you who ever just came in and started watching. And I do see that I do have a new member to the Straight Talk Society. So shout out to Gary Williams. I don't know who you are, but I do appreciate you for joining the channel membership. Oh man, shout out to the greatest moderator in the business, Keela. So we do have a great topic for you today. And before I get into this pause and reflect, I want to invite you all to come to Man Talk Monday this afternoon. Shout out to the Queen of the Straight Talk Society. I do want to invite you guys to come to Man Talk Monday this afternoon because I'll actually be giving you an update as far as where the channel's going and things like that, because we are making some like major changes. So just come in to Man Talk Monday. If I can get home from work a little earlier, I'll start earlier so I could, get my stuff out of the way so the guys can have their full chance to get it all out because they've been waiting. But I do want to also say shout out to the Top Notch Princess. So she shared this video. She shared my video last Friday. But in addition to sharing it, she also said that she was going to have her son start listening to it and taking notes on it. And that is the greatest compliment that something like this could ever have, because yeah, this isn't a show with drama. You'll never get drama over here on Pause and Reflect, because that's not what this is about. And people love the drama. So that's why, the viewership is never like what it is on a Man Talk Monday or anything like that. But the fact that somebody would say, hey, I'm going to have my young son start watching this because they're that good, man, you just don't know what that does to me. And that lets me know that my decisions that I'm going to make are absolutely needed, and we're absolutely on the right track. So with all that being said, let me get into today's show. The topic of today's show is the strength of humility. So listen, there's some women in the chat. You guys need to just share this video out right now. Just go ahead and share the video, because I'm going to talk about being humble. And we know that some men lack humility. They lack humility, major lack of humility. And that's why they can't progress in life. That's why they can't get any further than what they are, because they aren't humble. No one taught them how to be humble. But don't worry, we're going to break some things down today. But as customary on this show, let's go to the Bible. Like I always say, man, regardless of what you think, there's nothing in life you can't find in the Bible. Whether you believe it's the unadulterated word of God, if you think it's man-made, I am telling you, there is not a thing that it doesn't cover. So let's go to Proverbs 11:2. And I'm reading this out of the New King James Version. And it reads this: when pride comes, then comes shame. Come on, man. Have anybody been so prideful that they had to be humbled, they had to be shamed, they had to be brought down to reality? But with the humble is wisdom. Let me read that again. When pride comes, then comes shame. But with the humble is wisdom. And that's where we're going to start off today. We're going to be talking about the strength of humility. There's humility and strength. True strength isn't about pride. It's knowing when to listen, to learn, to grow. So I want to talk about this morning why humility makes you stronger and a more respected man. A lot of men confuse strength with pride, but real strength comes from knowing when to be humble, when to listen, and when to admit that you don't have all the answers. Oh man, humility is a strength, man. And I want to keep pounding this into you, that humility is a strength for a couple of reasons. It allows you to learn and grow. Pride blocks your progress, and humility fuels growth. Man, you ever look at a guy and you're like, man, that guy is so proud. Like, and we're not talking about proud like, hey, I'm proud of my kid. We're talking about the spirit of pride is in him, that he won't He won't take correction. He won't ask for help. He'll he'll just walk straight into a wall instead of, taking direction from somebody. In a lot of cases, it's taking direction from a woman, because God forbid a woman has anything good to say to you. We're not going to listen to that. I mean, because that spirit of pride comes up. But humility being a strength, it earns you respect. People trust and follow men that are grounded and open. When you're grounded and you're open to correction, you're open to be taught, you're open to be led, people respect that. Humility builds stronger relationships. Humility creates connections and not competition. Oh my God. I could stop right there and don't go nothing else. A proud person will always see everything as a competition versus, hey, I'm trying to connect with you and help you build. They're always so territorial. They're always so, you can't say anything to anything you say, like, hey, bro, I think you should do it this way. I think maybe if you would have did this. Oh, no, well, you don't do it as good as me, or I did this and I did this. You listen, we gonna help you today on Pause and Reflect. We're gonna help you, because that's what we do. Humility makes you adaptable. Listen, when you're a humble man, you will adapt. You could adapt to any situation. It won't make you be stuck in your ways. I always like to use work as an example. I work with a guy, I call him my work dad, but he is stuck in his ways. He's been doing what we do longer than I've been alive. So God forbid you try to tell him that he's about to do something wrong. He's not going to have it. But and it's not until he humbles himself down and like, you know what? You're right. I had to learn that when new management took over. I was stuck in my way because I was like a senior guy, and he was trying to bring everything in and automate everything and bring these robots in. And so I'm like, no, man, this is stupid. This isn't going to work. But, that yearly, pay over time, shows me, hey, you need to shut up and listen sometime. Humble yourself. Be humble. Just be receptive to other people's ideas. So also got a couple of ways to develop a humble spirit. Ladies, I know you're there, so you don't even have to say nothing. Just put the straight talk emoji in the chat if you want. Listen more than you speak. How many times do you want to tell your man? And fellas, how many times do you want to tell your woman? Just shut up. Shut up and just listen. Listen more than you speak. You don't have to prove yourself with words all the time. What is I don't know it right off the top of my head. In the abundance of words do a fool speak, something like that. Notice people that's always talking normally don't have anything good to say. It just sounds good. It's just a word salad. They just run in their mouth. Just talk. Sometimes you have to learn to humble yourself and just humility. Just learn a little bit of humility. I'm telling you, if you go to the Bible and you just type in the word humble or humility in the search bar, the amount of scriptures that you will get that will tell you about humbleness, being quiet, moving in silence. You'll be surprised. It helps you so much. It helps you so much. Sometimes to develop humility, we got to learn how to accept constructive criticism. How many of you deal with people, you can't tell them that they did something wrong because they think everything they do is right? Feedback makes you better. Feedback makes you better. Sometimes it's okay to accept criticism from people. They're especially somebody who's been there before. Especially somebody that's been there before. Now, I'm not going to tell you just listen to any random Joe Smo off the street, but I'm telling you, if you're in a situation like we always talk about the brotherhood, if you're in a situation that all you do is just make bad financial moves, and then your brothers who actually has some skin in the game are telling you, hey man, you got to do it this way or do this. Humble yourself down and listen. Don't always try to be competitive with them and talk and say, oh, you can't tell me what to do. So why are you in the circle? We need to acknowledge our mistakes. Own your own your failures without defensiveness. Stop getting so defensive all the time. You ever have a conversation with somebody and you're like, hey, man, I got a situation with you. I don't feel that you did this right. And the first thing they do is get defensive. They just put up the defense. They don't hear you out. They don't want to do nothing. They just put up the defense. That defense mechanism just goes up. You got to learn to start giving other guys credit too. Strong men lift each other up. One of the greatest quotes I ever heard came from wrestling, ironically. Jerry the King Lawler once said that blowing out somebody else's candle won't make yours shine any brighter. Sometimes we got to lift our brothers up and stop always trying to outshine them. Every time you're trying to shine more than them. You're trying to be the spotlight more than them. Just humble yourself down. It's okay to share space. We're humans. 7 billion people on earth. We share space. We share space. We always got to stay curious. Approach life like a student and not an expert. You always got to be learning. Even Jesus was taught. Jesus had to be taught. The Apostle Paul sat at the feet of Gamaliel. Even the greatest of men had to be taught. Always learning, always be receptive to learn. Stop thinking you know everything, because you don't. There's always somebody that's smarter than you. There's always somebody that looks better than you. There's always somebody that's stronger than you. Just face facts. Just be receptive to learning. Be a sponge. Be an open book. Even now, I still take notes and things. Even when it comes to this podcasting thing, if I see somebody doing something great, I'll take a note of it and be like, how could I do this without taking what they're doing? But how could I kind of make this my own? You always got to be open to learn, because because truth of the matter is, you're not as great as you think you are. And I think if more men would understand that, then the better they'd be, because a lot of men think that they're God's gift to women. They think they're God's gift to the earth, and vice versa. Some women think that they're the greatest thing in the world, and you can't do better than them. And I've heard that one before, that very line. You can't do better than them, and things like that. But if you ever just stop and realize that, man, I'm not as good as I thought I was. When the prophet Isaiah came in the presence of God, he was like, whoa. Woe is me, because I'm a wretch undone. When he was in the presence of the Lord, he realized just how much of a wretched man he was. And I think sometimes we need to be humbled. We need to be humbled. We need to be brought back down to reality. Sometimes we live this false sense of reality where we just think that this is the greatest thing in the world. Sometimes we need to be brought back down to reality in order to move forward. I'm almost done here, but let's get to my last point. Let's look at how humility, being humble, helps you in a leadership role. So strong leaders don't need to dominate. They empower others. The great sign of a leader is his team. Attitude is a great football term. Attitude reflects leadership. You could always look at a team and tell what kind of head coach they have. You could always look at a team and see what type of organizational structure they have. You don't need to always be the aggressive, loud coach, but you have to be the stern coach that leads by example, that shows your men to accept responsibility. Accept responsibility. I teach my daughter all the time, just own up to it. The worst thing you could do is lie about something, like you didn't do it. Just own up to it, and we could always fix it from there. And I think in men, we need to start owning up to some of our stuff. Sometimes we fail here and we fail there, and instead of just owning up to it and asking for some help, we just keep compounding on it, and just keep compounding on it, and keep just messing it up, just making shit worse. But it's okay sometimes to just back up and be like, hey, I don't have all the answers. I need a little bit of help here. Humility makes you approachable and trusted. Again, there we go back. Your team, your surroundings, your people, your family, they trust you. They trust a humble person. I don't listen, I don't care if it's a family member or what. No family member wants to follow a person that's not humble. You know, I guarantee you they're talking about you. When you're not around, they're talking about you. At the barbecues, they're talking about you. Like, oh my God, you're so loud. You just, you're not fun to be around. Don't be that person. Just learn some humility. Be a people person. Learn some humility. Get some humility about yourself. The most respected men are those who know they don't have all the answers. Again, it just puts a nice bow on this. We don't always have all the answers. We like to think that we know everything. We like to think that we're right about everything, and it's just, yeah, it's not. You're not. And it all and not for nothing, it kind of makes you look like an idiot when you have that type of attitude, like, oh my God, I'm right about everything and I just know everything. And just be humble. Just humble yourself. Be humble. More people will like you that way. Just be humble. Humble. That's the word for the day. Humble. Be humble. Just be humble. And lastly, humility isn't weakness. It's power under control. Strength isn't about always being right. It's about being strong enough to admit when you're wrong. Sometimes you got to just be humble, fellas. Ladies, just be humble. Just be humble, man. I know I'm butchering it, but somewhere in the scriptures, New Testament says through peace, quiet, and confidence, and humility should be my strength. Something to that effect. You got to be humble, man. Just be humble. Be humble. Accept your faults. Accept criticism. Learn to accept criticism. That's why that is why this world is the way that they are today, especially with our boys. You could always tell these boys, you know, I always like to say that they were raised by their moms, which, you know, we could debate that, but you could tell these boys were never taught how to be humble. That when they turn into men, not even when they get grown men, when they're 16, 17, 18, 20 years old, you know, a woman rejects them and they just lose their mind. They go to calling them all type of names because they never were taught to be humble. God forbid your mother made you think that you were the greatest thing in the world, and now all of a sudden a girl rejects you, and now mama isn't telling you that you're her king and you're her prince and this and that. And you don't know how to handle rejection because you were never taught to be humble. Humble yourself. Just humble yourself. You'll get a lot further in life. You'll get a lot further in life than what you are right now. Hey, I am Mr. Straight Talk, man. This has been another episode of Pause and Reflect. I already got them lined up for the week. I think I got them lined up for the next 2 weeks. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you will be notified every time Pause and Reflect goes live. We will be here tonight for Man Talk Monday. Hopefully I can get home early today. So I do want to try to get on early so I could, you know, give a few announcements before we actually get into the meat of the show. But I do thank you guys for the support. I thank you guys for coming through. Please make sure and like, share, and subscribe to the channel and share out this video, man, especially to some brothers that you know. You can just share the whole playlist. All 14 of these episodes are in one playlist. Just share the playlist and they can have at it. They can go through it and pick out whatever they want. Good preaching. They telling you, man, it's been calling me. But hey, I am Mr. Straight Talk, man. Hopefully everybody enjoys their Monday morning. Be productive, be humble. Don't be the guy at work that's telling your boss, you can't tell me what to do. That, like, how stupid does that sound? The person that's paying you now can't tell you what to do. Again, you got to learn to be humble. You gotta learn to be humble. There's a lot of men sitting at home on their ass right now, unemployable, because they didn't know how to be humble. Let's call it what it is. You didn't have to get in that argument with that coworker. You could have bit your tongue. You need to learn to be humble. Be humble. It doesn't show that you're weak. Listen, I could handle myself really good. So a lot of people that I encounter on a daily basis, I can handle myself well if it ever got physical. But I am smart enough to know that my employment is linked to a lot of things that happens in life for my family. So through my humility, I just gotta sometime bite my tongue. And that's where the difference is. That's where I see now I'm trying to stop, but now I just got to keep going. That's where the difference is. That's where the difference is. That's the difference in you sitting your ass at home not getting any money versus being the guy making six figures. Because one guy was more humble than the other. Not that the one guy is better than the other. One guy just chose to be humble. He didn't have to prove to everybody that nobody could tell me what to do. That I'm a nigger. You can't do this. And come on, man. Shut up. You're a grown up. You can't be 40, 50, 60 years old, still acting like you're 15 or 16. Can't be a guy that has a family and you can't be employed. You're unemployable because you can't be humble. Nobody can tell you what to do. Come on, man. Listen, man. You come to my school. You come to the school of the Straight Talk Society. I will get you right, and I won't charge you a dime. All I ask you, just hit the like button. I am out of here. I'll see you guys later on today for Man Talk Monday. Peace.
Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find what I rhyme is not a lie. Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find